Okay, so we were just looking at the categories a couple minutes ago, and now let's look at the metaphysics. So the word metaphysics itself, the title of the book, might be a little bit helpful. Meta is Greek for beyond or apart from or something like that. Physics means nature. And by nature, what they tend to mean in the Greek world is observable, so the world itself. And of course, this is the word we get physical from, and if you've ever studied physics, you understand what that's all about. In the metaphysics, he spends the first few pages talking about the science that deals with reality. And he says that there should be the highest science, and the highest science is metaphysics because it talks about nature itself. Okay. But one of the important things to pull out of the metaphysics comes on page 245 in chapter 3, where he talks about the four causes. And this is going to be a little bit significant in other aspects of the course as well. He says around line 25 on page 245, so this would be 983A25. It is evident then that we must acquire knowledge of the original causes, since we say we know a thing whenever we can recognize its primary cause. Causes are spoken of in four ways. One of these, we say, is the being and the essence, for the reason why is traced back ultimately to the account, and the primary reason why is the cause and principle. Another is the matter and subject. A third is the source of principle of motion. The fourth is what something is for. For instance, the opposite of the third case. Anyway, we can kind of simplify these generally into these words. So the material cause, what the thing is, so literally what it's made of. Then you have the formal cause. In other words, essentially its shape or what defines it, or what makes it look, shape and look, what makes it look different from other things. Excuse me. Then you have the efficient, in other words, as he suggests, the maker. That is, he says, the cause of motion. In other words, what made it, the maker. And lastly, we can call it the final cause, which is the purpose or end, what it's for. Often called in Greek the telos, and hence we often can call Aristotle's philosophy in general teleology, because it is always about the ends or the telos of a thing. So if we take, say, a tree, the material cause of the tree would be like the wood and leaves and stuff. The formal cause would be the shape, right? Because part of a tree, there's a lot of things, in other words, that are made of wood that aren't trees. So part of tree is that its shape is, well, tree-like. Now, when you get here, there can be a bit of a difference between these two. These are kind of easily understood and physical. These, maybe not so much. So the efficient cause of the tree would be the maker. So you could think of things like, the soil and seeds and water and that kind of stuff, right? Or you could trace it all the way back to a creator, some sort of god or something. And final cause would be the purpose that the tree is there for originally. So if his point is, when you add up all of these things together, that's when you have knowledge of something. So you have to understand all these four. So think about it, man. Material cause of man, flesh and bones. Formal cause of man, well, shape essentially. Efficient cause of man, parents, I suppose. Final cause of man, what is the purpose of being human? That's the thing. That one's not quite so obvious. But these four causes are the way that we have knowledge of reality. So the full way to know what is real is to know all of these causes. And that is one of the important things in the metaphysics. And the metaphysics ultimately is about questioning sort of these kind of things.